zusammen, guten Abend, good evening. Herzlich willkommen im Pop-Up House of Switzerland, an unsere Live-Gäste und auch natürlich an unsere Online-Zuschauer. Heute geht es um Mictic. Mit Mictic kann man Musikinstrumente und Luftspiele spielen. Auch mit Mictic kann man mit dem Körper die Musik kreieren. Dann spannend, oder? Mehr werden wir in einem kurzen Moment rausfinden und über unsere weitere kulturelle, innovative und nachhaltige Event können Sie sich gerne auf unserer Webseite informieren, www.so-schweiz.de. Jetzt wünsche ich euch viel Spaß und the floor is yours.
Thank you guys. Thank you for being here. My name is Marshal Javan. I'm the CEO of Mictic, this beautiful thing that we're going to actually show you guys in a second. Let me scoot over here. So the purpose of our company in a nutshell is that we're essentially two bracelets, and it's an app that allows you to immerse in music in a very unique and one-of-a-kind way. Right? Because when you think about music right now, you can consume it so easily. We do it passively. By the way, I only know English, so apologies for that. If I need to slow down, just raise your hand and let me know. But we consume it like Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, so forth. We don't even think about it. We're constantly consuming it. But there's been a disconnect with music interaction. Right? The last thing comes to mind is Guitar Hero. It was very popular, arguably very manual as well. So we wanted to kind of reignite or just have this reconnection to the end user when it comes to music interaction. But the trick is, how do you do that without being a professional musician? Right? So we want to do it in a way that the everyday consumer can also pick it up, be able to do it, but without making it a game, still challenging you, but give you that ability to do it. And that would also potentially bridge into picking up real instruments, for example. So what I'll do before we actually, hey, who did that? There we go. Before we actually get into this, I'll start out with some of the presentation of what it is, and then I'd like to keep it interactive during the process. If anybody wants to try these on, these are our newest prototypes. We actually launch officially November 26th, Black Friday. That it's going to hit market worldwide. So you get to try it out for the first time. I'm happy to walk you through it. We will bond together on stage. It's going to be a good time, right? Let's do something. I'm going to put this down a second. So the first thing I'll start out, let's go with the basics. Just your standard instruments, and I'll start with something classical, right? Cello. So when you think about a cello, think of it as if you imagine the neck of the cello in front of you. This controls obviously your notes. This is my bow hand. And if I were to just you can see how really precise and accurate. It's playing almost an invisible instrument in front of you, right? Something more edgy, my instrument that I love, let's go guitar. Same concept. Notes, rhythm. So if I can bend like a real guitar. Right? So things like that. Now, the question for us was, and this is where it became really helpful actually from individuals such as yourself that we connected with, and we were trying to figure out how can we evolve this, right? So starts with an instrument. It has that cool wow factor, but after 5 minutes, okay, what can I do next? So that's where we wanted to actually create these immersive 360 experiences that we call soundscapes. In addition to that, make the instruments more playable. So if I wanted to actually play this guitar, set up a microphone in front of me or my ear, and play at a coffee shop, for example, and sing and play to make it more performable, more playable. And we feel that we finally got there, and that's why we feel comfortable and confident actually getting something out. Let's do a soundscape. Let's do something like hip hop. And I just got my scratches right around here. Right? There it is. So my left hand here controls the beat. Drop it down, starts the beat. Stop. As simple as that. Now, around my body, and by the way, visually you'll have access to it on the screen. You can look at it see where things are, but you don't have to obviously stick to it. So here we go. Here's my synthesizer. Where's my... Here's another synth. This one's a pitch control. I can drop it down, mid, drop, stop it, double hand drop, it stops like a performer. Now, I don't exactly know how I have it mapped around me, but essentially you can have a synthesizer, you can have your scratches, you can have something else behind you. It's based on 9 axes, so you can technically enable a bunch of things around you, make it more complex. You can make it as simple as you want, or you can make it complex. It depends obviously on your level, how comfortable you are, and so forth. Let's do rock. One of my favorites. This one's based on intensity, right? So is it possible to get a little bit more volume on that? I'm trying to rock out, man. So this is my clean guitar, right? Now if I lift, that triggers my bass. Now if I want to rock out, I literally just start rocking out. 4 seconds, it triggers your drums. Now, that was my solo. I have a solo guitar map here. Double hand drop and E-stop. So you can have a lot of fun with it. Again, I've mapped one solo guitar here, but you can do all sorts of different things around you. And that's essentially what we're trying to do is allow you to immerse yourself in music without virtually pulling you away from your true environment, right? I'm not looking at a screen. I don't have a clunky headset. And part of it is to keep people active, entertain people, maybe add some educational elements to it. So you can look at it. You can look at notes. It tells you where, what chords you're in, what notes you're playing, and things like that, what key you're in. The other part of it is you can actually collaborate with others. So if my colleague Toby has a real guitar, I can put it in the same key, and we can start playing around and jamming. You can actually really collaborate and form almost like a band or a duo or whatever it is. So that's kind of essentially what the product is. And maybe we'll do one more. Let's do the new guitar chord progression. We haven't showed this to anybody, so if it doesn't work, it's his fault. If it looks good, it's me. So the concept of this is we've chopped it up into, this is guitar basically, right? So we sliced chords, popular chord progressions in front of you, so you can actually, I can go distortion if I want. Can you distort me? You can do all sorts of different combinations, chord progressions, different variations. You can sing, you can play, you can do the same thing on a piano, and so on. So I'll get into some of the presentation here. What's really cool about Mictic, what drew me to it, I'm not really the founder or part of the founding team, but I fell in love with the product because I was a musician, and I thought it gives this really unique element of performing in the most accurate way I've seen with spatial sound mapping, which is really unique. It's essentially slicing audio files and invisibly, just picture invisible audio files around you that you can trigger based on your movement. So it's Swiss precision and tech as best as I've seen, but it's also nice to have an international team, myself being from the States, Toby's from Germany. We have team members in London, and it just gives this diverse type of approach for us going into market. The other part of it is, as I mentioned, it doesn't matter if you're a Grammy Award winner or you're literally picking up an instrument for the first time. Our onboarding process, when you get it, so you get the package, you open it, it walks you, turn on the app, put these bad boys on, and it literally walks you through it step by step. Hey, welcome, let's get into some basic movements, checks you off, and it really makes it easy for you to move forward. If you have issues with it, reach out to us. We're very customer centric. We want to make sure that you completely understand how it works. Aside from that, I think one of the biggest things for us is Do I have a beam on this? I don't have a beam, do I? Anyway, TikTok and video content creators, right? Part of it is we want to really build that community, and there's just so much out there, and in our opinion, there's unfortunately a lot of noise as well. So to give a creative outlet for people to do something cool, share it with friends, share it with us. We just really want to build that kind of a community and then start collaborating in a lot of different ways. So it gives a really good outlet for video content creators, TikTok, the YouTubes of the world, and so forth. As I mentioned, November 26th is when we're officially launching it. The package itself, when you get it, it will have everything you need, right? It's going to have your 2 bands, it's going to have charging cables. We're really big believers in not having to do anything when you get it. Nothing sucks more than you get something and you're about to play and like batteries not included. You're like, oh, come on, man. So we're going to make sure that everything's in there. You simply download the app and then we can go. One mention, iOS. How many people are Apple users here? Most? Google? Androids? We will cater to you soon, I promise, all right? But we're going to release it as an Apple device first. Androids will follow very, very soon after. There's just some differences when it comes to the app development and so forth. But ultimately, as I mentioned, you're going to have a customized user onboarding tutorials. It's going to be on the app itself, or you can go to YouTube. There's going to be a number of ways. We just want to make sure that you completely understand 100% how to go about using it. Another thing that we're starting to now discuss is the next level, which we're already kind of working on parallel. So what we want to do is make this, again, it's just this music interactive experience that we felt is missing. So Mictic 2, which will probably be this time Christmas next year, obviously you can still use the product that you get, is allowing you to actually rock or play with your favorite bands. So what happens here is you pick a favorite song. We call it Mictify, as it's like Spotify. Pick a favorite song that you want. You upload it into our app. You select the instrument that you want to play. Our technology really puts it in the key that you're in or the song is in, and you can literally start playing. Like, we put the remotes for fun. But it could be anybody. It could be Oasis. It could be, if you're a hip hop, artist that you like, different things. You can do a lot of different things. You can start scratching. You can start playing synthesizers and so forth. So this will be a really cool feature that we're trying out now. And same goes conceptually the same for dance and performers. So you can, same thing again, pick a song that you want, and we'll actually do it in a karaoke fashion. We built moves with our choreographers based on the rhythm and the movement of that song. And so then it almost becomes like a dance karaoke game that you can play with your friends at a bar or whatever. So as you hit those right moves, the song continues. And if you miss it, it'll tell you suck or try again or whatever it is. But we're going to try to make that really fun as we continue moving forward. So we're constantly thinking of ways that we want to make sure to keep the audience engaged, right? So that's ultimately it for us. So what I'd like to do is, if anybody wants to try these, I'm happy to kind of give you a guide. Anybody? Any takers? Bam. Not only that, you just won $100,000. I'm just checking my mom. That would have been really cool. So, what's your name, by the way? Sarapil? Yes. Pleasure. Okay, so this will be your right hand. Toby, can you give me a quick, what instrument or experience would you like to try? Guitar. Okay, let's start with that. So can you give me a... experience in instruments? No, I'll walk you through it in a second. I just want to make sure that... Cool. Okay, so let's get this on your right hand. And let me know if it's not comfortable or anything like that. Yes, it's good. Okay. Maybe I'll let you do that part. I don't want to get your skin on accident. There we go. That work? Okay. Generally, probably a little bit tighter is better because you want to make sure your sensors are really on point. And let's do this here. Okay. So now your right hand is going to be like strumming a guitar, right? And your left hand is going to be, if you picture like a neck of the guitar, you're moving it. As you move it up here, it's lower notes. As you move it close down, it gets into higher notes, right? I want to make this a little bit tighter. Sorry. It's hard to do it on somebody else, isn't it?
You can do it,
okay. Okay. Move that. Move. Do I have it on the wrong hand? We're going to swap you, sorry. Yeah, let's help me with this one. And then we'll switch it up. So in the app, by the way, you can actually, there's a function that you can swap it if you want. If you're left-handed, you can just click it and it rotates. But in this case, we'll just make sure that's completely accurate. And let's see it that way. There we go. Okay. Cool. Now let's try. So now this is now pull that up. Now keep strumming. And keep coming down on it. And keep bend your hand. There you go. So that would be almost like a note bend. If you keep coming down all the way, if you go down here, it gets higher and higher. And if you go all the way up, it'll get lower and lower. So that's kind of the experience overall. And as you get into kind of a more coordination between the two hands, you start getting a better rhythm. Let's do maybe the chord progressions. So this one gets you into kind of a chord progression mode. So now what we've done is picture like 4 different chords in front of you. So if you now, this is your rhythm now. As you go up, it changes the chords. You get lower? Yeah. There you go. Nothing finger-wise. It's just basically your wrist and the actual space in front of you. And it goes all the way up there. And if you go a little bit lower, there you go. So it starts as low as here. It goes up just like yeah. There you go. Perfect. So think of it as this axis kind of going this way. Your y-axis. There you go. Oh, the solo mode we could have actually done. So those are a couple of things. Let's do something fun now. You want to do tennis? So we're gonna get you in the game world because we actually have as a kind of an add-on fun feature, we put on games in here. So in this case, your left hand, it's a movement, the shoes on the court, and your right hand, swing. Double arm up. So there's all sorts of stuff like that. Or fun. Like you can do robot, kung fu. If somebody makes you mad, you can throw on kung fu and just. So there's different elements of that. But even though it's a music targeted device, we wanted to kind of have some fun things that people can like break into the weekend with. Wimbledon is happening, like a quick game of tennis and things like that are freebies that we throw in there. Anything else you want to try? Good? All right. Anybody else? Thank you, by the way. I appreciate it. Thank you for trying it. All right, go ahead. You're closer, and then we'll come to you.
Can you actually
Oh, thank you.
can you connect the wristbands with the music production software? So it's like you record the riff, wristbands, and then load it in your software, sample it, make drum sets to it.
Yes. Yeah, because it's I'm gonna bring a microphone so you can actually. So the question is, can you actually connect these to a recording software, like a DAW, basically, right? If you're like using Pro Tools or GarageBand or Logic or any of these things, yeah, you can. We use MIDI technology, so you can actually connect to that. Yeah. So you can. We're gonna have it done two ways. One is that you can actually record onto there if you want, or vice versa, record something, and eventually be able to import it into Mictic. And I'm glad you're mentioning this, because part of what we are trying to create is this user community. So not only is our team creating new experiences, but let's say if you're a producer and you have something that you created, we give you a platform to where you can almost drag and drop into cells around you, and you build the experience, upload, try it. I don't like it, I'm gonna switch it around. You can switch it around and things like that. So that's a big part of it.
So it's recorded in like MIDI files, and you can drag the MIDI files to your DAW.
Correct. Okay. Yeah. What do you use, like Pro?
Studio.
Okay. Cool. Give me one. I just want to get. Okay. This is your right hand.
You take care of the watch.
Yeah. Man, this guy's perfect because he gives me all sorts of ideas. Also, there's magnetic pools around us, so it's going to work a lot better if you don't have, for example, if you take off your watch and things like that, because of the magnetometer that we have, it can actually manipulate where you have files set up. So, man, you're fantastic. You come up here, like, you bring me all sorts of questions. All right, so I'll let you do this based on the tightness. You want to make sure, yeah, that's as tight as possible.
Okay.
Otherwise, it can actually move around on the files. What's your name, by the way? I should ask you first. Marcus, pleasure.
Yep.
Cool. What would be a good starting point?
Can I have guitar chords?
Yeah, that'd be cool. You want to do like a 4-chord progression?
Yeah.
You play guitar? Okay. I can give you a hand if you want. Yeah, these are prototypes, are not the most convenient.
Okay.
Cool. So, if you picture a guitar, your rhythm hand, chords. Let's do, can you give me a 4-chord progression? Or a different? So he's gonna set you up right now. So we usually have it in songs and progressions. So go ahead. There you go. If we bring it back down. There you go. That's like your lowest notes, and then you bring it down here. Yeah. So it's almost like the axis would be if you were doing this here, but we've manipulated it a little bit in terms of our algorithms to where it allows you to play it like a real guitar, right? So. Yeah. Correct. Yeah, so it's using that entire space, so whether you're playing it like this or actually like a real guitar, it's gonna help you. Yeah. So, and then in the app it has the chord progression notes. So if you had favorite bands, you want to see how they play, we can actually put those chords in front, and you can actually play and sing along and things like that.
Can you record it? Like, can you record the chord progression and then do like the drums?
Sure. Yeah. So let's do maybe Wild Things, and I'll have them try the solo option too. So there's, for example, you know, the song Wild Things, where we're using it as a demo. So basically, is it good to go? So maybe also distorted would be cool, so when you start soloing. So there's a feature now, if you're playing the chord progressions. Now put this arm up here. Now bring it back down. Or is it the other arm? It's this one. Leave it up there for a second. Okay, try the other arm. Okay. Dang it. I love that feature. What it does is when you're playing these, when you actually put your arm up, it starts looping that chord progression. You can actually solo over it. So it automatically plays it. Yeah. Damn, who took it out? Someone fired. I'm just kidding. Okay. What else would you like to try? You want to try?
Hip hop drum set, like.
Let's try hip hop. Okay. All right. So, boom. Yeah. Yeah. Synth. And then as you move around, you'll pick up different instruments. There's scratches somewhere with this hand. So if you slightly, I'll move you. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. There it is. So there's different mapping of sounds around you, and you can, as you're in different angles, you can pick it up. And then this is based on if you go up and down. Up is your low notes, and the down is your high notes. Yeah. Yeah. And then if you shake this, it triggers hi-hats and. So there's all sorts of little ear candy stuff that you can do, and then anytime you want to stop that, you go down. And if you want to completely stop, drop both down. There you go. So it'll challenge you in a fun way. The whole idea is not to keep it simple, and you can actually enable more and more and more things around you as you go. You want to try one more thing? Or you can?
It's okay. You can go now.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it, Marcus.
Left and right.
This is right?
This was right and this was
Okay, thank you. Thanks, man. Can I get one of those bad boys? Oh, thank you so much. We're going to un-COVID this for you. Thank you. I already forgot which was which. Let me try one more time. Okay. So this will go on your right hand. I'll put it on for you. As long as you're comfortable with me.
Yeah, sure.
Nice. There you go. Your wrist around. There we go. Perfect. Can't see.
Should I move my hand?
Nope, it's totally good now.
Okay,
Cool.
yeah.
All right, there we go. What's your name, by the way?
Thomas.
Thomas. Pleasure.
Well, we haven't heard the piano yet, so I'd like to try the piano, this piano.
Sure, you can try the piano. Does he need a okay, so you put your hands in front of you. Perfect. For 5 seconds.
Oh, sorry.
So what it does is there's a calibration phase to know exactly where you're at.
It's done already.
Okay.
It's done already.
Okay. Now, your left hand
Yeah, sure.
is chords, and then, the high hand.
Could we just like make it a bit louder?
Yeah. One thing to keep in mind: these sensors we have are based on your wrist, so it doesn't detect fingers just yet. And then, oh, you can do that. Yeah, you can do that. There's a setting. Which hand is it in? Huh? Right hand. Now, if you go. Do you play piano? Okay.
I used to play.
That's awesome. Do you want to do piano Piano chords? Okay. So the other thing we did is the same as the guitar. So the chords will be 2 here, 2 here, and it gives you the pop chord progressions. Now if you... now if you do... Now over here. There's 2 chords on each side. But you have it on glissando, huh? Now what if you move this way? Because now play. Which hand are you using?
Oh, yeah.
Now turn back around. So there's... There you go. There's an invisible piano in front of you somewhere, and that needs to be calibrated the right way to your body. Which chord is that?
This doesn't change.
It looks... No, you look like he... I think he's off.
Sorry.
One,
For the
let's reconnect back on.
Oh, yeah. Should I do the wrist thing again?
Let's try electronic music real quick.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna do that. Okay. So this is your rhythm hand. You move that all the way up. Slows down your beat. You bring it up. Start your beat. This is your pitch. You go up and down. Now if you go a little bit to the side here, you go down. That's your pitch hand, and then your rhythm hand. Yeah, and then there's probably something else on you on that side. You're like a natural. Ah, there you go. And if you move that up and down, it'll give you different pitches. There you go. Right now we kept it simple. Don't get don't get ahead of me, man. And then let's see if it works on you. There you go. How about let's do a little trap. Let's give you one more experience like that. You have this down. Let's try. Okay, so trap is conceptually the same, right? If so, this when you have it down low, it's as you go a little bit further up, that speeds up your rhythm all the way to it's club music, and this is your pitch hand. As you go, if you go down here like this, that's high, and then low, yeah. And then this one, as you move your wrist, gives you different effect, yeah. And if you go this. Now can you go all the way to the top slowly with your rhythm hand? Think of yourself as a club DJ. Keep going a little bit higher, keep going higher. Bam! Somebody knows it. Somebody said drop. And then double hand drop and it stops you. To your knees.
Ah, that's
Cool.
really cool.
Let's go.
Nice.
Yeah, so there's all sorts of things like that. There's like 5 soundscape, hip hop, Latin, electronic music, rock, and same thing with the instruments. There's 5 instruments. Now the instruments are really important when you start your app, when you have your own. It has you calibrate to A, your room that you're in, B, just your overall size and things like that. And it just gives you puts you at a point 0. So then when you're playing piano, it'll be more accurate. Same with drums. Yeah. Usually your snares and things like that. So the calibration is really important per person. So, but I appreciate it.
Nice,
Thanks so much.
Thanks, yeah.
Thank you.
Good.
Nice.
Nice.
Anyway, we're actually going to do, I guess there's an apero. There's going to be wine and cheese. If anybody wants to try these a little bit longer, we'll have it over there. But once again, my name is Javon. We're Mictic, based out of Zurich. We're excited to get these out, and thank you guys for your support. And a big thanks to House of Switzerland for allowing us to be here, hosting us, putting up with our complaining and headaches. That wasn't too much of that. But it's been a lot of fun, and I appreciate you guys' time today. Thank you guys.